They say silence is golden. But for you, it's a weapon, a shield, a strategy. It's how you win wars without lifting a finger, how you outsmart noise with nothing but stillness. In a world that never stops talking, the one who controls their silence controls their power. Because silence doesn't mean surrender. Silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence is the discipline to hold your fire until it matters. It's watching everything unfold and knowing your time will come. Not because you shouted, but because you waited. Let them underestimate you. Let them talk. Let them gossip, lie, posture, perform. Let them build their identity in volume. You don't need it. You're not in this for the spotlight. You're in this to win. And winning doesn't come from loud declarations or dramatic scenes. It comes from restraint, from strategy, from the long game. People don't understand how dangerous you are when you go silent. Because silence means you're no longer reacting, you're planning. You're no longer proving, you're preparing. And that scares them. Because now, they can't read you. They can't predict your next move. They can't feed off your emotions. Because you've given them nothing to hold on to. You go silent, and suddenly you have control. Control over your words, your time, your peace. Control over who gets access, who gets a reaction, who gets your energy. And when they lose that access, they panic. Because your silence becomes a mirror to their noise, to their insecurity, to their need for chaos. And you don't need any of it. They want you to explode, to justify, to defend, to collapse under pressure. But the moment you go quiet, the game changes. You become the storm they didn't see coming. You become the answer they can't predict. You become the energy that rattles them without saying a word. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of power. It holds what you refuse to give away. It holds strength, patience, precision. And when you master it, you walk into rooms with an aura that speaks louder than voices ever could. You win by being unbothered, by choosing when to speak and when to let your presence do the talking, by becoming immune to distractions and anchored in your purpose. While they talk, you build. While they shout, you listen. While they move fast to be seen, you move in silence to be remembered. Because the one who doesn't speak is often the one most feared. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they don't need to say it. Your silence speaks volumes. It says, I know who I am. I don't need to prove it. I know what I want. I don't need your permission to get it. I know what you did. I just don't care enough to respond. That is power. So the next time they bait you, stay still. The next time they lie on your name, say nothing. The next time they try to drag you back into old patterns, walk away. Let your silence create distance. Let it elevate you. Let it draw a line between who you were and who you're becoming. Because when you stop reacting, you start commanding. You start protecting your energy like a throne no one gets to touch. You start attracting respect instead of attention. You start becoming a force people study but can't figure out. You become a mystery they can't decode, a presence they can't shake. They'll wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're becoming. And that's the point. Your silence keeps them guessing while you stay grounded in truth. Every second you stay quiet is a second you own your space, your focus, your path. You are not silent because you have nothing to say. You are silent because not everyone deserves to hear you. They underestimated you because you weren't loud. They thought silence meant absence, but silence was your strategy. Silence was your lab, your temple, your battlefield. That's where you built your strength. That's where you made peace with your past. That's where you transformed pain into purpose. And now you don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You don't need an audience. You just keep winning. In silence, in peace, in full control. Because the world expects noise. It expects reaction. It expects drama. But the world is afraid of what it can't hear, what it can't label, what it can't understand. And that's where you live now, beyond their noise, above their games, outside their reach. The less you say, the more they wonder. The less you react, the more they respect. The less you need to be seen, the more you become undeniable. Because silence is the mark of someone who doesn't chase power. They are the power, so stay still, stay strategic, stay untouchable. And when the world expects you to speak, let your silence do the talking.